Hey everybody, today we're going to do some cooking with my order from Thrive Life Foods. Alright, welcome back. So I got this order in, I want to say January 20th, and I have absolutely had no time since SHOT Show and my wife's birthday and having to go to a friend's mother's funeral, and January is always nuts. We've been crazy nuts this month. So I finally got around to it in this month, which is February. So I'm going to show you what I got, and then I'm going to make up a real simple kind of quick meal, sort of, with this. Basically, quick little meal with some of the freeze-dried stuff that we have put together here. Nothing fancy, you know. And I'm not going to open this guy here. He's just for show. I did get him. He's the chili lime chicken rice. And this is the from the Premium Express stuff they offer. These are sort of like a larger version of your Mountain House entrees. We've got the freeze-dried shredded beef. Now we're going to open that up today. We're going to try it. Freeze-dried cheddar cheese. I have already hydrated some for the purpose of this video, but I'm still going to open this up and let you see inside. And something that everybody asked the last time I did a video, the powdered butter. We're actually going to make some of this today. And long term, I'm going to use this and this up, this stuff up in my daily cooking. What I'm going to do today is a really simple, quick meal. We're going to kind of pretend, boom, there's been an emergency. I got to rely on my freeze-dried food storage, so I'm going to throw something together real quick. So let me open everything up, get this stuff ready, and I'll bring you back. All right, first order of business is I want to let you look at this stuff. It's pretty simple. Here's your freeze-dried shredded beef. And again, the ingredients on these are amazing. It's just beef and salt. So don't rely on this for any kind of spices. You got to add that yourself later. Here is the powdered butter. We're going to give that a try. As you can tell, I got the oxygen absorber in there. And actually, with the powdered butter and with the powdered cheese, I think I'm going to leave it in there because, of course, I'm not dumping this all into a thing to rehydrate it. And here's your dehydrated cheese. Looks just like regular cheddar cheese. Nothing different about it. It just feels dried out. Now, the cheese I'm going to go into right now because I am going to use this stuff, but it takes 24 hours to hydrate if you want to do it right. So I already got some, and I used my Snackies, which is the same cheese, and rehydrated it. What I do is I take some, and I put it in a plastic baggie, and I add just enough water to get all the cheese inside wet. You don't want any water sloshing around in the bag. A little bit at a time, dump it in, kind of like I did here. Let me show you. And you just kind of leave it out like this. These were the Snackies, the little, the kind of bags that look like this. Same cheese, just different shape. So what I did was I put just enough water in there and put it in the fridge. And I let it hydrate for 24 hours. Now, and I mashed it down a little bit too, so it'll be shredded when we cook it. But now, it's actual cheese. There's no more crunchiness to it. And I'll tell you something, it's really good cheese. So I'm going to use this cheese. I'm just not going to use it today because it requires that you hydrate it. Now you can toss it in soups and stuff, but we're not making a soup today. You can toss it like this into soups. It'll be fun. Now, next up, and I got to start up the grill for this, is your shredded beef. Okay? Pretty simple. It almost feels like little pieces of driftwood. It's dehydrated beef. That's about it. Now, to reconstitute this, got a bunch in pans and pots and stuff off screen. It's really funny here. It's like my little portable kitchen. To rehydrate this stuff, start that up. You bring half a cup of water. Get down. Half a cup of water, which I have right here. You warm it up, essentially. You're going to warm up half a cup of water. You just want it to get warm. There's something in there. You don't want it boiling or anything like that. You're going to take a single cup of this stuff, a full cup, and I think I'm just with the bigger parts, I'm just going to take that and put it in there because I don't want to spill it all over the place. So you get a full cup of this, trying to be neat, and it's not paying off. Full cup there, I'll throw a little extra for a good measure. And you just want that water to become warm. You don't want it to become boiling or hot. You're going to dump it in there. And I'll read you the actual directions off here. Add a half cup of hot water into 1 cup of beef. Let sit for 5 minutes, or simply toss into any creation and you're off to go. For my case here, I'm going to do it this way. As you can tell, that's warm. Tossing it in, mixing it up, and we're going to let that sit, not on the flame, trying to flame off, for about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. See how it does. Okay, next up is the butter. While we're waiting for that to hydrate, I'm going to do the butter for you. And I need a little thing here, and a little bit of scoop here. Now the butter is kind of interesting directions because it's kind of they leave it up to you. So it's to add butter powder to your cooked veggies, cakes, whatever. Add a small amount of water to thrive butter powder until obtaining the desired, what does it say? Desired texture. So we're going to take a little bit of this. Okay. What I'm going to do is just take my water bottle. This is probably way too much. This is probably like a whole pound of butter if I were to mix it up. But let's see. Because honestly, I've never used this brand of powdered butter. We're just going to add a little. See what kind of consistency we get. The reason I'm doing this is because this is what I'm going to oil the pan with. A little bit more. Yep, looks like that's going to be a little too much. But we'll break it down. So once this is fully mixed up, and once that's fully hydrated, I'm going to bring you guys back, and we're going to throw together something just with this basic stuff here, nothing fancy. I have a little rice that I've kind of parboiled, cooked a little bit under. This is just from my storage. This isn't Thrive white rice. And honestly, the stuff you buy from Thrive in the rice cans, you can buy the regular rice at your store and store it in 5-gallon buckets just as easily. However, it is nice to have a couple little cans, maybe you want to grab and go type thing, or maybe you're cooking for a big outing or camp and you just want the little pantry can or the little 10 can to grab with you. But that's the rice we're adding into that. So let me finish mixing this up, let that rehydrate, and I'll bring you back. All right, I've backed up here. I want to give you a little more view of what's going on. Here's your butter. It's still a little runny. I probably needed to add more powder. But since we're using this to cook with, doesn't matter. And by the way, it tastes just like butter. It's amazing. This is just like melted butter to me. Yep. That's really good. It almost has a hint of that movie popcorn butter taste, sort of, but it's not fully like that. But it definitely has a rich butter taste to it. The beef here, I'm going to let you guys know right now, you're going to need a little more than a quarter cup. I had a half cup. I had a little bit more water. Now it's nice and hydrated. I don't know if that's because my pan wasn't big enough. Maybe a small pan like this and a wider pan it would have hydrated better. But, I mean, I added tip it in once a little tiny bit more. So, maybe an ounce of water more. Made it perfect. So we're going to get the pan on here. And I'm just going to make some beef and rice with a little bit of taco sauce and mix it all together and see how it goes. There we go. Of course, it's going to give me a hard time here. A little bit of butter in the thing. Butter in the pan there. Nothing sticks. Toss in my beef. Okay. There we go. Well, that's going. Now, as I said, this is just beef and salt. There is nothing else in this. So, for you folks that want to do backpacking or stuff, and maybe put some of this into I lost a piece. Well, I'll get it later. Want to put this into some kind of meal? Let me turn it down a little bit. There we go. You may want to take something like this with your spices already in here. Now I have garlic powder, onion, salt, pepper, a little bit of diced onions in here, dried diced onions. I'm just going to sprinkle that in there. There you go. And again, for my use today, we're going to be using some taco sauce, but you can always use something like sriracha chili sauce or something you can get in smaller containers. You can almost pack your own MREs to go with these things. If I were to put this all in one container, say a little Ziploc bag, I'd be able to pack that all up and get it ready for me. Right on fire. Wow, that came out good. So I'm going to put a little hot sauce in there. A little bit. And a little bit of cheese in there. My rehydrated cheese. And again, this was too much. One thing you're going to have to learn with this is what you think you need is far less than what you're making. You know, it always looks like it's so small when you're adding something that's dehydrated. When it hydrates, you're like, whoa, way too much. I could have done half of that, and it would have been fine. So, get it going here. Cheese is melting nicely. It's clean. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rice that I just a little bit undercooked, toss some of it in, okay, and add a drop of water. I know this isn't an episode of Iron Chef Survival Style. So then, I just stir it up, kind of let the rice simmer and heat up. And again, like I said, Thrive does make the 10 cans of rice. If you know how to store rice in the 5-gallon buckets with oxygen absorbers and such, you can do it that way. Or you can have the convenience of a couple cans of rice with you. I actually have a couple cans of their rice that I bought years ago. The smaller cans, the little pantry cans. And the cool part about it is I have it in my never coming home bug out tubs. So if I have to make rice, I don't want to bring a 5-gallon tub of it. I have 2 or 3 of those in the tubs with food and supplies and whatever if I can't ever return home to my house. Unlikely scenario, but we're preppers, we prepare for that stuff. Never know. So let's take a taste here and see if it needs a little more hot sauce. Yep. That came out. Perfect. Well, that's going to be lunch today. Maybe a dash more. When I'm telling you that this beef and the cheese, you would never know that was freeze-dried food. One of the reasons I'm doing this also is because some people choose to do the Thrive stuff and to cook with it every day. And you can save a little bit of money if you become a distributor and get some money back on your own purchases, as well as save some money on your food. The way I like to put it is, if I buy a can of peas, okay, and I dump all those peas into a pan and heat them up, maybe I like them, but my wife doesn't. So that half can of peas is sitting in the fridge for a month, and eventually it gets tossed. With Thrive, if I'm the only one eating tonight, that's all I ate, right? You still see, we still have 3/4 of a can there, and that is going to be a lot for me. I probably could have cut that portion into a third of it out and I would have been fine. So anyway, that's the video for today. Don't exactly have a name for this recipe. It's just kind of stuff I made when I was poor and working years ago. Simple kind of food, but in an emergency, if you got to eat, that's good food. So thanks for watching, and I'll leave the link below. That came out good. If you guys want to start experimenting around and buying some of this stuff, either for your food storage or for everyday use, you really can't beat it as far as quality goes. And this is what I've seen. This is the only company that offers the little pantry cans instead of having to buy the big 10 cans. So anyway, that's the video for today. Thanks for watching. We will talk to you next time. Have a good day.